So we have a lot of portages today. There's no real fishing areas to speak of, so I'm putting my fishing rods away. I'm going to break them down, put them in my kayak paddle bag. And this ABS pipe, it's worked fantastic as a rod holder. All I do is I have some gear ties. I cut some notches in there. So the gear ties are in there. I mean, you probably don't even have to do that, but it worked out well. So the gear ties go right in the notches, and really all this is this, and that's it. So, and this doubles as a protector for the tops of my fishing rods. So the thin ends of the fishing lines, when they break down, my two-piece rods, all four of them fit in here. In case you're wondering why I got 4 rods, first of all, I'm taking an 11-year-old fishing for 10 days, so I totally expect to lose one or break one or whatever. And then also I have 2 rods that have 10-pound Trilene XT line on them, and I've been using those for trolling. And they worked great because caught lots of fish, no broken lines. It's perfect, but it doesn't cast worth a crap, right? So the other 2 rods, I have Trilene 4-pound XL, which is extra limp casting line. And so when we're on shore, if we find a place we want to cast, those are the 2 rods we use to do our casting with. So that's why I bring 4 rods. Here's my ABS pipe that worked as a rod holders for trolling. It worked perfect. So I'm putting this away. This is going to go in the paddle bag as well. And then I'll be set for doing the portages. So one of the luxuries on this trip, I brought 2 different pairs of pants. I have my Fall Raven Vita Pro trousers that I wear. They're a heavier fabric, they're awesome, but you know, they can be a little warm in the summertime. I have some light Arc'teryx hiking pants that I brought because the long-term forecast was kind of up and down with being really warm. So today, with all the hiking, it's going to be hot, so we're going to be doing a lot of portaging. So I'm going to wear these Arc'teryx light pants, so they breathe really. They're going to get wet in and out of the canoe. They dry really quick. They're really light and they're comfortable. So I've been trying those out on this trip, and so far so good. Usually I don't need to bring 2 pairs. I have my Kokatat rain pants, so if rain comes, whatever, if it starts to rain, I put those on, so there's really never a situation where my pants should get soaking wet. So one pair is usually good enough for a trip. It's easy to say that when the weather's like this, but I've been in trips when it's damp and cold and snowing. So something to keep in mind if you're doing these spring trips. Just imagine the weather bad. It's nice to have a dry pair of pants to put on the tent, or long johns anyways. Yeah, so just to give you an idea, with all these portages and doing a double carry, pretty much almost doubling our time. And again, I can't say enough, you got to factor that into your trip, right? I wouldn't do it if I was doing a solo trip, but with my son and camera gear and just the actual ease of carrying a pack, I think it's better just to spread out the load. And you'd be surprised with 4 people you can talk and just enjoy the walk back, especially when the weather's nice. So we've lucked out there. Might be singing a different tune if it was raining and cold, but today's going to be good. Time for lunch. What we got? Trail mix. M&M's for me. Come on, Griff.
Gosh, just a little bit for me.
Just a little bit for you.
99%.
Pepperonis.
Pepperonis and M&M's are two of the major food groups on the campus.
Exactly. Pepperonis, dried fruit.
Oh.
Baby dried fruit, Cliff Bars, and these things are great. Peanut butter, and pack some crackers that don't smash up too much. This is one of the most enjoyable parts of the trip for me. Sitting here. And
Absolutely.
it really is.
Absolutely. Because you've earned it.
Yes.
Nothing you start to appreciate other than you've earned.
It seemed like just yesterday we were stranded by we were in Windbound.
Yeah, Windbound, that's true.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Oh yeah,
We were there
twice
for
actually.
like an hour.
Yeah, we were there a while.
Twice.
That was a nice nap.
Okay, so me and Griff did one trip on our portage already. I had the canoe in a pack, and Griff had his pack, one of his packs, and now we're doing another one. So just because you're doing a portage, don't always assume that it's in the shade, because this one's actually sunny, and there's a lot of sunny stretches. So as you can see, Griff's wearing my hat, and I don't have one. That's what dads do, right, Griff?
Yep.
Ah, yes.
They provide.
And of course, it's not hot at all today. There you go. Oh, sorry, I hope you guys were waiting.
Okay, one of the nice things about portaging on these trails is when your head's not in the canoe, especially if you're doing a double carry, that trip back gives you a chance to look around. And one of the things that we absolutely love seeing is at the start of our trip, these are non-existent and they pop up, it seems like overnight. First you see the leaves and then you see these beautiful red flowers. And if this looks familiar to anybody who lives in the province of Ontario, this is the distant cousin of the white trillium, which is the Ontario emblem. This is its cousin, the red trillium. Absolutely beautiful little flower. It's very droopy when it starts, but then within a couple days, all of these around here are going to be up, and you see this beautiful scarlet blanket all over. As beautiful as it is, though, if you break them through stepping on them or you get them on your hands, they stink to high heaven. So although they're pretty to look at, they're not one that you're ever going to want to put in a bouquet, that's for sure. But one of the joys of getting out here in the wild is seeing these in a natural setting and just appreciating the color and the beauty.
Just when you think your kid might be bored on a trip like this, you know, give them a net, let them try to catch minnows on the shore, and it'll keep them busy. So how'd you do it?
I actually took a net, put some pepperoni in there, and just waited school by school. They just
Yeah, let's take a look at what you got.
and I got 2 pretty big fish.
Yeah, look at you. Way to go. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Determination, my boy.
Yes, and
Good
I'm
for
gonna
you.
go fish some more.
All right, have fun.
If you don't.
So these are canoe seats that I got at Cabela's years ago. So I take them every once in a while on a canoe trip if we're not going crazy super light. This one here, we're double portaging, so I really wasn't too concerned about weight. So me and Griff use them in the canoe once in a while if we're doing a long day of paddling and my back gets sore. Griff likes them as well. And they make a great camp chair. We use this all the time. Hey, Wes?
Absolutely, really comfortable.
So yeah, no, every once in a while if you come across a camp like this and you have solid benches like this one does, take these out of the canoe and you can use them at camp instead of putting up our camp chairs. Asian beef noodle dish, Bill's recipe. And then so we throw some water in there. I'm going to cover that up with a plate and some soy sauce and I never remember the oil.
Sesame oil.
Sesame oil. Dash of sesame oil and a dash of soy sauce in there after it rehydrates. That's going to be our dinner. caught most of our fish trolling this trip. In the past we've caught a lot of brook trout from shore casting like this, but this time around trolling worked really well. We got 9 lake trout. We've had more luck trolling than casting from shore, just the way the campsites have been and just the way the fishing's been, so it's always good to prepare for both. You know, sometimes you catch them from shore, sometimes you catch them while you're trolling. So be able to do both. Be flexible with your approach when you're fishing on these trips. If you have any questions, just fire me off an email. Be happy to answer or give you some advice on what works for me and what we use. Usually in the morning I like to get some cast out and take a few casts around the campsite in the morning, and you never know what you'll catch. That's probably one of the most common times to catch a brook trout from shore. I never seem to get it on video though. The weather has been unprecedented for me. I mean, maybe it'll rain tomorrow morning, but the weather's been fantastic on this trip. So if you're watching this, you think, oh, I could do that. Don't ever count on weather like this, because you'll probably never get it. I know I'll never get it again. But you gotta take it when you get it. And that's why I really appreciate it, because I've been out here in the rain. I still enjoy getting out, but when you're sitting under a tarp for a day, it kind of gets a little old, no matter how much you like the outdoors. So when you can wake up to blue skies every day, it's a good thing.